Much peace to you guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. So if you are new here, feel free to subscribe and leave a comment. I do videos on consciousness, spirituality, psychology, and so on. So this YouTube channel is all about developing your consciousness to go to the next level, realizing that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, and you have the power to create the life that you want to experience. Okay, so today I'm gonna speak about the alchemy of your consciousness. Okay, I believe that this is super important because I'm realizing in my own journey that I cannot always be perfect, and I'm realizing that there's so much to work on myself, and there are shadows, there are imperfections within myself that I actually need to work on. But slowly but surely I'm going into a deeper state of consciousness, and today I want to share with you guys how to alchemize your consciousness. Okay, now you have to realize that it all starts within yourself. Okay, it all starts within it. Life starts with you. Okay, you attract what your consciousness is all about. So the first tip is go within yourself. Okay, change the relationship that you have with yourself, and you will see how the universe will actually give you things that are of a higher vibration. Okay, so realize that yes, it starts within, it starts with yourself. Now you have to realize that there are programs, there are belief systems, there are patterns within yourself that may run unconsciously, and really you need to question them, you need to become aware of them. Okay, so if you want to change your thought pattern, if you want to change your programming, if you want to change your belief systems, the first tip is to actually acknowledge them. Okay, become aware of your thoughts, begin observing yourself, begin looking at your habits. Okay, begin looking at your way of operating in this life. Okay, so it's all about the process of recognition. Okay, you gotta become aware first if you want to change something. Okay, now another tip would be shadow work. Okay, do the shadow work. Go within yourself and ask yourself what is actually wounding you. Where is it coming from? Okay, it may come from childhood, it may come from parent programming. Okay, it may come from the system, it may come from the matrix, it may come from society. Okay, so realize that there are things within yourself that you have actually denied. Okay, you have repressed, and when you do the shadow work, it's like you are letting go of stuck energy, you are letting go of what is no longer serving you, and really you are stepping into a higher state of consciousness. So another tip would be allow energy to move through you. Okay, I've seen in my own spiritual journey that I had blockages. Okay, I had lower vibrations going within myself. The energy was actually not moving. But the more that I began to really step into my creative power, the more that I began to question myself, the more that I began to love myself, was the more that energy was actually flowing at a harmonious level. Okay, so it's all about entering a flow state where you actually create, where you are letting go of perfection maybe. Okay, where you are really facing your fear and really opening your heart to the vibration of love. Okay, now the alchemy of your consciousness happens when you begin to also accept a negative feeling. Okay, I've seen my own journey that I was running away from negative feelings, and I'm still not perfect. Okay, so trust me, I still have shadows, I still have imperfections, but the more that we find the self-control necessary, okay, the more that we accept even our pain and our shadows, is the more that we actually become stronger mentally, physically, and emotionally, and even spiritually. Okay, so have the self-control necessary. Okay, you don't need to only chase fake positivity, you don't only need to chase fake feelings, emotions, or thoughts. Okay, so you need to learn to find the balance between the positive and the negative. Okay, you gotta find completeness. Okay, So realize that the more that you accept yourself, the more that you love yourself, is the more that you have the power to actually alchemize your consciousness. And really, it's all about going deeper into the rabbit hole, become curious about life. I'm seeing that in today's society, we may be programmed to stagnate. We may be programmed to always look outside of ourselves for answers. But the more that we find our own way, okay, so find your own way. The more that we find our own way, the more that we learn to find our own passions, is the more that we actually find our uniqueness, okay? And you are unique. There's nobody like you here on planet Earth. So you have your own way of expressing yourself, okay? You have your own way of merging with life. You have your own way of developing your consciousness. And it may be related to your passions, okay? It may be related to the frequency of your core, to your core frequency, okay? So realize that if you want to alchemize your consciousness, you gotta find your own unique path, okay? You gotta find your own uniqueness, okay? So realize that you have a certain way of expressing yourself. You have a certain way of operating in this life, okay? So go ahead and open your heart to what you want to experience, okay? Now, realize that it's not always about perfection. Okay, it's not always about perfection. Letting go of perfection is actually another type of perfection. So when you let go of perfection, you realize that there are actually no mistakes, okay? And I believe that action, especially healthy action. So when I'm saying healthy action, I mean vibrational alignment. I mean the flow state, okay? So the more that you step into healthy action is the more that you actually alchemize your consciousness, okay? So realize that your state of being is important, okay? So realize that the more that you let energy flow through you is the more that actually consciousness grows, okay? So a tip would be move your physical body, okay? Eat healthier, question the nature of reality, go more into nature, and realize that the universe will actually respond if you are going to follow your own heart, okay? So yes, if we want to develop and alchemize our consciousness from shadow to light, we gotta look deeper within ourselves, and we gotta look deeper within the universe, and it's actually the same thing, okay? So realize that the more that you go deeper within yourself is the more that you actually go deeper into the universe. And really, there are ways in which consciousness is actually connected to higher vibrational principles. Okay, there is a way in which consciousness is connected to universal laws, maybe. Okay, so if you're finding yourself on the spiritual journey, you may also resonate with higher consciousness. You may also resonate with spiritual laws. Okay. And if you want to develop your consciousness and alchemize your consciousness, you have to realize that everything that you must deal with into your own life are the things that are happening within yourself. Because like I like to remind you guys, as within, so without. So the more that you shift what is happening inside of your own brain, inside of your own emotional field, is the more that you actually shift and change your own reality, okay? So when you shift, reality shifts as well. This is what you have to realize, okay? So things won't change unless you actually change yourself, okay? So step into your own creative power, step into your own way of really questioning the life, step into your own way of your own evolution. I believe that evolution is super important because deep down into our spiritual nature, we're actually creative beings, okay? So we cannot always stagnate and expect things to work, okay? Also, find your own way. Get out of the society's construct of programming you, okay? Find your own way. Okay, question the matrix. Okay, we may live in a matrix, okay, and so many of the people may not be aware of higher consciousness. So many of the people may be asleep in this matrix, okay, and these messages, these videos have the power, have the purpose to actually awaken you. Okay, to realize that there are levels to consciousness, there are levels to reality, there are levels to vibration and the way in which energy flows. Okay, so I believe that yes, there are different dimensions to life, to the universe, and really our consciousness is multidimensional. Okay, so the more that we awaken is the more that we are increasing the frequency, we are stepping more into love, into forgiveness, into realizing that we're actually the co-creators of our own experiences. Okay, so the alchemy of your consciousness, super important, from shadow to light. And if you feel like you are depressed, okay, if you feel like you cannot flow with life, give yourself the time, freedom and space necessary. I'm realizing in my own journey that sometimes I just need to relax, okay? Sometimes I just need to let things happen by themselves, okay? So realize that it's all about loving yourself. If you want to develop your consciousness, it's all about loving yourself, okay? So yes, alchemy happens when we accept ourselves. Alchemy happens when we are no longer running away from ourselves, okay? And yes, you have free will. You can actually be anything that you desire. But my suggestion is go ahead and follow the things that actually make your heart smile, because that is such a beautiful thing. Okay, so I believe that this is today's message about the alchemy of your own consciousness. Okay, realize that there are so many tools that you can use. There are so many high vibrational concepts and principles that you can actually apply into practice. Okay, so realize that you are where you need to be, and realize that your consciousness is powerful. It has the potential to awaken. And you are part of this higher consciousness, okay? So if you're on the path of awakening, I see you, I feel you, I love you, okay? So realize that it's all happening for you, okay? It's an opportunity for growth and expansion. And even if it gets dark, realize that the secret is inside of your own way of merging with life. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and like always, see you on what is coming up next. If you're new to my YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know how you are actually choosing to alchemize your consciousness. Thanks so much for watching, and see you on what is coming up next. Bye bye.